3, 2, 1. Alrighty, and we're live. Welcome to another episode of MGS Discussions with
Another.
Canis and Cairo. So, in this week's episode, we are going to be talking about MGR and Raiden's uh, view towards victimhood, strength, and his prejudice of low expectations. Take it away, Canis.
God, this is killing me. Okay, how about you start? Cause I'm not good at this kind of stuff. Like this is like my first audio thing, so you're just killing me with this.
Okay, it looks
Okay,
like Canis is a little unprepared here, so well, I'll just take over the start, give a start. So, we're here to talk about sort of Ryan's character in MGR. I think MGR a lot of times is seen as a sort of lesser game by diehard fans. It's made by Platinum Games, and because of that, the a lot of times fans don't say that it's not as deep as the other games, or the many of the themes expressed are not in line with the other games. But we're here to dispute that because Ryan's character takes some very interesting um, turns in the game, and one could say that he's out of character, but we don't think this is necessarily true. I think there's some very interesting aspects of his character that we don't really see discussed very often, and the main thing is his sort of his faux heroism and his idea of protecting the victim and sort of the reasons behind why he's fighting. So, Canis will give you an introduction to that.
crap. I'm just listening. Like, yes, all is going well until it's like, hey, can you give us your opinion? It's like I like turtles.
Okay, just it's like Canis will take it away and that point to like the small fluffy dog at the corner of the room. It looks and it's just like why,
Why me?
huh?
No, yes, it's like why me?
Yeah,
Well, I
why?
guess like MGR has always been like underrated. I mean, not really for its gameplay because that's what it's been credited for, because Platinum Games and stuff. But like its story and meaning behind it, like it's not just like um kill or be killed. It's my story. Yeah, Ryan's being edgy. It's not like that. Yeah.
So I think what's interesting about um MGR is primarily Ren's motivations because I don't think he has very clear motivations. He has because and all the other cyborgs ask him about this. They're like, "Why are you doing this? Like, why do you insert yourself into this drama and do this shit?" And he's just like, "My ideals." And they Mistral is actually like, and they would be, "What are your ideals?" And he's like, "I protect the weak." Right? So like the thing is, like, what exactly is the weak? Like, on the surface, it looks like it's just the children, right? So, but like, um, when he saves the children, he feels good, and he's like, I done good. I protected the weak. But then, like later in when he's like in the car and George is talking to him and George is like, "Wow, that was awesome. Someday I want to be just like you. I want to be, a warrior who saves people and is a hero." And he's like, "Oh, wait. You're talking like a killer now." And you would think that he's like, "Yes, you too can save the weak." But he's like, "No, no. No, that would suck. Don't be like that. Don't be a warrior or a hero. Don't become strong." It's like, and from that you get this sort of weird uh, sense of him that he almost like he designates people as weak and he wants to protect them, but at the same time, like when they become strong, like for example, a lot of the cyborgs in the story, um then they're just enemies and he's just the reaper, right? So and I think the really striking example for me is Sundowner. Like Sundowner was just like a US Army soldier. He was like on a tour of duty in the Middle East somewhere, and then he stepped on a mine and had his legs blown off. Right, so he went home to like the I think Alabama or something, and he sat on disability, like and got disability checks for like a really long time, and but the disability checks weren't enough, and they weren't making ends meet, and he wasn't able to like take care of whatever he was trying to care of. So then he became a cyborg, right? So at the point of him like taking disability checks, Ren would be like, "Yes, I protect the weak, people like you, Sundowner." But like the minute he develops agency, he makes the decision of, "I'm gonna become a cyborg and and earn more money and sort of become independent again and take my fate into my own hands." It's suddenly like, oh, evil cyborg must kill, and it's kind of really conflicting because he protects the weak, but he also wants weak people to protect, so that like he almost has this vested interest in keeping people weak, because when when they become strong, it's not even a like a, oh, you become strong now. It's like a, no, this is wrong kind of thing, you know?
Yeah, I thought it was like really weird, like when he was talking to the Desperado agents, because it's like you'd think he would relate to them, like especially Miss Straw. When Miss
Yeah.
Straw was like talking about her life story, it's like I've been a child soldier. My parents were killed.
Yeah, it's
I
just
had
like,
like yeah, I had nothing to live for. And Ryan was like, "Oh, you poor creature." And then the second Miss Straw said, "Oh, but I like stood up for myself and I became a mercenary." He was like, "Wait a second, this is wrong." But it's like, Ryan, what are you doing right now? You're a mercenary.
yeah.
It's like,
It's it's like, he's basically okay. So in MGS2, Raiden says, Raiden asks Snakes, "Hey, is it okay to like killing? I mean, that's just hypothetically. I'm just saying, like, if a person like me were to like killing, how would you feel about that?" And then Snake was just like, "There's no right in killing. Not now, not ever. So he knows it's like sociopathic to enjoy killing, so he needs some sort of justification for it. That justification is, I'm doing good. What am I doing? I'm protecting the weak, right? But like, because it's simply his justification, he constantly like what he's really looking for is that he's constantly looking for to kill. But really, like, to look for people to kill, he has to look for a reason to kill, which is protecting the weak. So he's always looking for people who are weak. Like, it's just like when, like, he needs a constant supply of weak people to protect so he can justify like murdering people, because he actually just enjoys murdering.
yeah. Well, because like in MGS2, he never really had that sense that he enjoyed killing until Solus came along and was like, "Hey, I'm the reason why you're like this," and then like it all just starts coming back to him, and he's like, "Wait, I like killing. I feel awful about this because of guilt that I had when I was a kid. Snake, how do I get rid of this guilt?" And then Snake's like, "Find something to believe in." And then it's like, so technically, Snake's the reason why Ryan's like this because Ryan, as long as you believe in something, killing's okay.
Yeah, it's like find something to believe in. Like you mean like killing? Not that. Like maybe something you want to pass on. Like protecting the weak. Yes. It's like
Yeah,
he just finds justification for like things that he wants to do. So really, like, it's just to satisfy his like I like killing kind of thing. It's like, it's like fat people who will find out like all sorts of justification to like eat more. And but like, yeah, I mean, I don't know. And the other thing that's really like shitty is that as a byproduct of this, he needs like a continued source of weak people to protect, right? So as kind of a byproduct of this, he kind of keeps people weak. Like he was saying, like George. He could have easily served as a role model of George, because like that was the relationship Snake had with him, right?
yeah,
So could have like he could have taken the kid under his wing, or I mean, even if he wasn't able to, like, mentor the kid and be like, yeah, one day, I rescued you, but you got to be self-sufficient, and one day you'll be able to protect yourself, if you work hard. But no, he was like, no, that makes you a killer, and he's like, it's so he's discouraging, sort of uh when George was like, I want to become strong like you. So he's discouraging that, not because for George's own interest, but because he continually needs people to protect, so he can justify killing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like it just makes you wonder. It's like, well, why should he justify it though? It's like,
Wait, what do you mean why? Because he feels. Wait, is it because he just feels bad, or he needs a reason to? So he artificially keeps creating these reasons to kill.
yeah, but like in MGR, he keeps on saying that I really don't care. I just like killing people. I just make something up so I feel better about myself.
He's such a shitty person in MGR. Good God.
But it's just what makes even more disappointing. It's like Desperado gave him tons of reasons. It's like, oh, you must have, you must feel angry at someone, and you want to get revenge, or like, you lost your family, so I this makes sense. And Ryan's like, nope, I'm just protecting the weak, and then they're just like, what?
Yeah, so like he was super deluded, right? So Desperado, what essentially told him a myriad of different reasons where it was okay to kill. So like and that he shouldn't necessarily feel guilty about it. He should just come to terms with it and just come out of the closet and be like, "Yo, I like killing, man." But like, but like, so anyway, like Mistral was like, I kill because really that's the only thing that I'm good at. It was not, I was not, things didn't start out this way. This was kind of pushed on me when they murdered my family. But like when I took revenge for them, it felt really good. And then I joined the army, and I became really good at this. And this is kind of the only thing that really good at. But it's okay because I enjoy it, and it's okay. I've come to enjoy it, and it's okay. But and Monsoon was like, well, we're just it's this is kind of just the nature of things. The strong prey on the weak, and you know, like it's like nature, it's predators, right? So there's no real reason for you to feel guilty about killing, because really this is just a natural urge. It's okay. So, but then and like Sundowner had like a different take on it, and he's like, well, like this is what we got to do, so you might as well embrace it. But no, he has to have this like moralistic bent to it, which is, I don't know, which is this like really holier than thou. It's like, it's like super religious people who are like, that thing that you do that we also do, we do it better because it's holy, and because we're doing it for the right reasons versus your reasons.
What I noticed was that um, like what I just noticed was that all of their reasons were like different. So like Mistral's reason was personal.
Yeah,
Sunrise's reasons was like economical,
yeah,
economic.
economics.
Yeah, and
Yeah,
and Miss Monsoon's reason is just it's just like, this is how it is.
let's just go with the flow kind of thing.
Yeah, very like biological. So like they're giving him like three different reasons, and Ryden's like, nope, nope, you're all wrong. It's like, are you out of your mind?
Yeah. Um, what was Sam's reason?
Oh, what was Sam's reason? Like, oh yeah, Sam's reason was like, people being forced into this, like the trafficking thing. He was like, some of us don't actually like this. We're being forced into this, just like you, right? And Ryan's like, I'ma kill you.
Yeah, I think what's kind of um I guess off-putting to me is that like all the weak people he protects, right? Once they become strong, once they gain some sort of self-agency, they become like cyborgs, right? So cyborgs, all of them used to be like either child soldiers, or they're like disabled people, and then like through becoming cyborgs, which is something that they chose, uh like none of the Desperado cyborgs were like kidnapped as children or anything. I mean, so through that they were able to do well for themselves, right? So like so if we interpret MGR this way, Ryan is kind of like this arrogant, like holier than thou dude, and he murders cyborgs, right? So he has this very special hate for cyborgs. But those cyborgs have like worked their way to the top through their honest, hardworking efforts. And but these, I guess, don't exist to him. So instead, any cyborg that's successful, he feels like is being exploited without realizing that he's just there. He's just feels like well, they're too stupid to realize that they're just being used. Like he sees like all the cyber like when he thinks of like when he and Kevin talk about like the cyborgs, they're just like they're being taken advantage of, and they just don't know it. Well, who are you to say that? Like
Yeah,
like injured people um are victims, right? At these all injured people before becoming cyborgs are victims. All cyborgs, if they work for they are also victims because they have those contracts with that like keeps them from like they're it's basically slavery. It's like takes a long time to pay off. The company owns their bodies, etc. Right? But when they work for a large company that like he doesn't agree with, they're automatically monsters. Like it's like he expects cyborgs to be a certain way, or else they deserve to die. And that certain way is being like a weak victim.
yeah.
Yeah.
Like, I also just realized this, but like, it's also possible that Raiden sees all the cyborgs as himself, like the person he fears of becoming. To be, because like in a lot of stories, the hero and the villain is something the hero's afraid of becoming, and vice versa. So when he looks at all these cyborgs, he just sees himself. Because throughout the entire game, he's like, "You can't have any more Jack the Rippers. You can't have any more Jack the Rippers." It's like you're
I
only
mean,
saying
it's
that if
definitely
you're.
arguable. Yeah, it's definitely arguable that he hates himself. But yeah, keep going. I'm sorry.
Oh yeah, well, like obviously he hates himself because like he says these people to be like mindless drones or just like cruel killers without a purpose. Maybe that's what he fears that his logic is. That's why he based this. He creates a false logic. Yeah, oh yeah, I protect the weak because he doesn't want to admit that he enjoys killing. So he takes it out on all the other cyborgs, and then like the
Yeah.
and like the Desperado members are like saying, "Hey, it's not always like this. Some people are forced into this. Some people are driven by revenge, and like basically their point is no one does this just for the heck of it." But Ryan's kind of terrified because he thinks he's doing it just for the heck of it. So everyone has their reasons, but he doesn't. So he's trying to find his own reason.
Yeah. I don't know. I kind of don't. Wait, I don't really get that actually. Trying to find his own reason or what? Can you explain that a little better or?
Let's see if I can put it. I'm trying to think about it.
Hmm.
Let's see. Well, we all know that Desperado members have their own reasons and stuff, right? And Raiden's just has this really poorly structured reason. It's just not even put together well. It's easily flawed and stuff. But he's only doing this because he doesn't really have a good reason.
No,
Because he
he
actually.
doesn't. No, he's doing this because he doesn't have a choice. He doesn't. Like the. It's he's just like the other like Desperado cyborgs where he doesn't have any other career options except this. And he says this. He's like, am I gonna drive an ice cream truck or because I applied for all these construction jobs and none of them worked out.
Oh,
Didn't want me. So, but he hates the fact that he has to do this. So he creates some sort of like I protect the weak reason. Whereas like the Desperado people do this and they're like, well, we do this because it's the only thing we can do. Um,
Yeah.
Not necessarily any shame in that. Yeah,
I guess it's like he doesn't want to be affiliated with them because he realizes that everyone's in the same boat, but
yeah,
he's also doesn't want to be seen as a killer.
yeah. It's the I'm different kind of like think different kind of idea.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's kind of sad
yeah.
though because it's like they're like, oh Ryan, we actually relate to you, and he's
Let's be
yeah, it's like, oh well, let's be best friends, and Ryan's like, I'm gonna kill you. It's like, wait, why? Because you have the same reasons as I do, but you're the bad guy. It's like,
his
no.
his whole like a holier than thou thing is off-putting because like if you look at like the other cyborgs, they can really be seen as more like success stories, right? So they, I mean, sure they work for a big company that he doesn't agree with, but at the same time it's like they they got their shit together, they got cyborg enhancements, and they're working on their own terms now. It's not like they're at least they're not sitting in a field somewhere, or just sitting at home somewhere disabled. Like Kevin actually mentions this. Ren's like, so what happens if they don't become cyborgs? And and Kevin was like, yeah, they just sit at home. I mean, they're just like less. He's like, a lot of cyborgs come about from like because they need like prosthetic bodies, but like the to get a prosthetic body, you have to sign up for a PMC.
Yeah, jeez.
So I mean, he's in the kind of the exact same boat, you know?
Yeah,
Yeah. So I, I think he's also, I guess, ashamed of that too, because I think deep inside he knows he doesn't have like a higher purpose or something like that that justifies like killing the other cyborgs. I think in the end he probably does some way, but he has to still have the mentality that they're the enemy. He has to like artificially create this like they're preying on the weak, therefore I protect the weak kind of thing. Even though he know like inside he knows that they're in the same boat as he is, and like like in given the same things they may have made the same choices and stuff like that. But yeah,
yeah. Well, like, I mean, regardless of his philosophy, he does enjoy killing.
yeah. Are we talking about his philosophies?
He just has flawed philosophy. Like, he's like
This
trying to find some way to excuse it.
so my thing is like everybody's a victim except people who are successful and like or people who are are doing well for themselves like he views like for a period he views the cops and stuff as victims, and also like you know what's it called George and the kids as victims, but at this as sort of the weak that he needs to save. But then he doesn't view like Miss Stroud and stuff the same way. Is it just because they're just doing well? It's like even though they're kind of on the same track.
Well, I guess that, and also they're continuing the business. Like he's
Else
also
could they
mad.
do? That's the point. Like what else could they be doing?
Yeah,
He himself knows that very well. He knows that like there's nothing else that really any of these guys or he himself can do.
I think he probably expects him to be like him. It's like, oh, but you're free. Why would you put more kids into this? Like, I think that's what makes him mad. It's like these are kids, man. It's like for him, he was put into this kind of situation, but when he got out, he pretended to be normal. He was like, no, I'm a good Christian kid.
Yeah,
I don't kill anymore. I don't kill for fun. That was a long time ago.
yeah, yeah. It's just,
But like to see
I
other
mean,
people not having to see other people not, you know, being like him and giving up um what, what they had as a kid, it's like kind of feels disappointed
so what
because it's more like, huh?
do you think it's like a fairness issue or?
I guess so because he's like so how come I have to conform to society's norms and you guys don't?
Um, maybe, I, maybe. Um, sorry, I'm thinking. He just, but he could have joined them. Like he could have like everybody really wanted him to join Desperado. Like he totally could have joined them and just lived that lifestyle that he wanted so much, and he wouldn't have to justify it anymore either.
Yeah, but I think it's just the fact Ryan saw them as bad people because they're not using the things they're given as a kid or their talents for quote unquote good.
But his good is not really good. He's using he's using the good as just an excuse to kill people. Like
Yeah.
he's designating, or he's just artificially designating people as bad, and then that justifies violence against them. It's like how people are like, you know, this person doesn't agree, therefore they're a Nazi, and we punch Nazis. It's like in by proxy, you just like justified violence against a person for not agreeing with you, but you like giving them labels like really helps that process. So like when Ryan designates like, I protect the weak against the strong, it's and Monsoon's like, well, who protects the weak against the guy who protects the weak? And he's just like, fuck you.
Yeah.
you
It's like,
know,
oh, he's good.
yeah, it's like, oh, he's good, no comeback. I mean,
Yeah.
he's not stupid. I think like Ryan himself is aware of these hypocrisies, but he is not willing to address them because he doesn't want to.
Mm.
Yeah,
Like he's trying so hard to be this good person, but it's like, I mean, he has restrictions on him. Like in the MGR, those where we can't really move around, get to fight them in a certain area.
yeah. So,
It's like Boris. I don't think that's to prevent him from getting lost. That's just to prevent him from just tearing up the entire place.
would he though? I mean, like, hello, you still there?
Yeah. Hmm.
Okay, because like, would he though? I mean, I just want to play the devil's advocate here because in MDR, oh shit, so in MDR he specifically says like, I learned young that killing enemies feels good. So is his like passion for killing limited to only enemies? I mean,
Well, like in the graphic novel, that's how Solace trains him. Like even though the graphic novel isn't canon, it still gives a little insight to how Solace trains his men, even if it's not canon. It's like, okay, at least we know like his style if it was. So I mean, Solidus has built this enemy and ally thing, and that's how child soldiers work because because children don't have the concept of like the gray area. So 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 the most effective way is setting up the enemy ally logic. So and that's what Raiden is basing his philosophy off of, basically what Solidus taught him.
I mean, yeah, I can see that, but like, I don't know. I mean, but like, do you think he enjoys killing in general or only killing enemies? Because you seem to imply that he enjoys just killing. Like I learned young that like killing squirrels felt good. You know, like,
See that's what I'm trying to think, because like in the MGR cutscenes, he says that he likes to kill enemies, but in the codex, he just says he likes killing in general.
just in general. Yeah.
So I think like he likes killing, but he likes being reassured that,
The kill.
or he likes, yeah, or yeah, he likes being reassured that the killing is worth something, like killing enemies.
Or yeah, he's actually doing good. Like
Yeah.
he's actually yeah.
Well, we're not just doing good, but like that it means something, you know.
That's good writing. Good. You killed well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So he lacks purpose, so that's why he wants a purpose and stuff. I
Mm.
mean, that's how I see it.
I think it's just his way of like justifying something or finding a purpose for something that society considers is shitty. Like like no like if you ask anybody, they're like, yeah, killing's wrong. But that's what it's also he doesn't want to acknowledge that that's the only thing he's really good at. Like he doesn't really have any other career skills besides killing. So I mean, like like we are talking about this previously, but okay, if you think about Ryan as a real life person who's applying for a job, like what does he have on his resume? Well, he has like working for the Patriots, but most people don't know that the Patriots exist. So like he has like all these classified missions that are classified, so he can't talk about them. So he basically like when he's basically like a 35-year-old man and he's applying for like jobs and stuff without like any kind of work history. I mean, the only work history you can reasonably talk about is his like pizza delivery a job back in high school or something. So I mean, he's really limited in that respect in that he can't really do anything else. You know?
Yeah,
Yeah. So
that makes it like it just makes it more interesting because like Raiden is like enjoys or Raiden is pushed into this for all the reasons that the three of the Desperado people cover. No, the four of them.
huh?
Like for Mistral, something personal. Raiden kills because something personal because he enjoys it. For Monsoon, it's the killer be killed. Raiden also has this mentality, like that's his secret mentality. Um, for Sundowner, it's like, hey, it makes money. Raiden's also doing this to make money. That's why he's a mercenary. And
Right.
for Sam, he says that this is something you can't really help if you're forced into this. Like sometimes you're doing this because you're at an inconvenience. That's also Raiden.
Yeah, so it's like Sam's the whole thing is like I have no way out. And like his whole song was like I'm fighting. I have this sword in my hand, but I have no idea why I'm fighting. Like it just this is kind of the only thing I can do or something.
Yeah,
Eh,
I mean, like,
Sam's story is sad.
I mean, his story is kind of it doesn't like his philosophy doesn't match up because he just fought guys, like he fought criminals after
But
they killed his
okay,
father, and then started fighting everyone.
so he's like living the fantasy of being a samurai, right? And then like he but he's human. He doesn't have the whole thing with like being a cyborg and not being able to do any other work besides mercenary fighting. So he's doing his thing, everything's fine and he's living out his fantasy about being like a vigilante until he gets injured and he becomes a cyborg and he no longer has any other options besides that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hmm. And it's like all these people are messed up.
No, but some are more messed up than others. Like Ryan is, he's the most like messed up person from my view because I mean also like he has this idea where like it's almost like you can't succeed as a cyborg. If you succeed, you are evil. You've become strong, and therefore you've become an oppressor. You are evil. So he has this sort of internalized mentality that all cyborgs like can that all somebody can be is like a poor oppressed victim, and if you're successful, you become a villain. And he's the guy that kills the villains. It's like really conflicted.
Yeah.
It's almost like he's internalized weakness as part of like being a cyborg. And I mean, uh, I want to mention something, but I can't. I'll save it.
Save it for later.
Okay, save it for later. All right. Okay. So say something.
I'm not sure. Like I think we pretty much covered everyone's point. I mean, every point.
Yeah. I don't think we made a convincing argument. Like I think I think the sort of the shittiest thing about him is that ultimately his desire to sort of keep people down is to his desire to sort of keep people from becoming strong is self-serving because that way he has this continual supply of weak people to protect to justify his like interest in killing, right? So like in the end, he's actually kind of shitty because he has this sort of vested interest in keeping people down. So okay, so I wrote this a while ago, and I sent it to you, but it's like so from the view and the various bosses actually comment on this, right? So Mistral was telling him, so you protect the weak, right? But by extension, if you protect the weak, like, do you consider yourself weak? Like, clearly you don't. But you were weak in the beginning, but you became strong. Like, I'm like you too. When I was young, I was defenseless. They killed my entire family. I got stronger. I became a skilled fighter, and I killed my family's killers. I was able to get justice for them by becoming a stronger person. Like, does that make me the villain here? Because you only protect the weak, right? What about the weak that have worked hard to overcome their weaknesses?
Yeah.
And he's like, no, you clearly are a predator and you need to be gotten rid of. And Ren's just like, I kill you. And Monsoon is like, so how, like, who protects the weak from the man who protects the weak? It's like, how come you get to determine who is weak and worth protecting? Like, what if some people are actually weak but you view them as strong? Like, who protects those people? Because you're clearly going to kill them because you just arbitrarily designate some people as weak versus strong, and it didn't get through to him. And like and and Sundowner was like, I joined the army and then I lost my legs when I stepped on landmines. So I was really weak for a while and I was living off state welfare checks. And that felt depressing and terrible. But now I'm a cyborg, I can actually work to support myself. It's not the best work, but I've come to justify it to myself and I enjoy it somewhat. And it's the only thing I can do, so I might as well make the best of it. Ren's like, I kill you. And then Sam's just like, there's no real point in talking to you. I tried, but nothing really gets through to you. Let's just fight. and,
Yeah.
then, and then Armstrong is just like, I want to give every man a fighting chance to improve their life situation. Like the corrupt administration and the way that the American social system is set up right now does not allow any room for upward mobility. Like when you mobility and the American dream is really just a myth to keep people down. I want to change this, even though changing this might require me to do some bad things. The end result is worth it. It like I'm taking people who are weak and oppressed and trying to give them agency, trying to give them control over their own lives. And then Ryan's just like kill, and then like the ending song has this like you know this sense that these lyrics that people are just sheep. They can't make the right decisions. Like they're just they're what was the ending song? They're just They people think they're informed, but they're really just swept up in like in ignorance. And then, but who's to say that Ryan's decisions are the right decisions for everybody?
Yeah.
Like if yeah, it's like if it's the can you look up the lyrics for the ending song because it's like something like
Just want a collective
uh
consciousness, or it
yes
has to
no
be this way.
has no the last song like it's the rolling credits song Soul Can't Be Cut I
Oh,
think.
the war still rages within.
Oh yeah, war. Yeah, yeah, war. Okay, still ages within. Okay, so we're still ages within lyrics, and that's kind of like the ending Raiden's ending conclusion, right? So looking down on the car, looking down on the cars on the highway, the stream of taillights, everybody advancing together, so willingly to sacrifice rights. When people accept their cogs in the system, they will give up free will, conform. Individual pieces of dust swirl together and become a full storm, and even men with the greatest intentions start believing in their own lies. That's right there. Like he has good intentions, but he keeps believing he has this justification for his actions, and also like there's this whole thing of like everybody thinks they're doing the right thing, but really they're just advancing together and they're not making the right decisions.
Yeah.
But again, like who's to say Ryan's decisions are right for everybody? Like who is the hero here? Because he clearly thinks he's making these decisions that are right, but like every single person in this game is just saying like, like there's some flaws in your logic here. Have you considered? And he's just like murder. It's like,
Yeah.
yeah.
Like
Uh,
the last song talks about like how, like, pretty much what you said, how everyone, like, they choose to band together, and society's norms, like what they choose is right and wrong, and how different people have to deal with it. And then, like, the last verse is like, we all have our own battles and stuff.
yeah.
Like there is no white knight, because when you're saving someone else, you're harming another one.
Yeah, I mean, I'd like to think that the song itself is somewhat self-aware like that, but I don't necessarily know if it is. I'd like to think that though, because like it's just I don't think Ryan learned anything in this whole thing. Like I think he just became like at every turn there are people saying like, hey, people have when it's like you're really killing people who have like become self-sufficient, who have like taken control of their own destinies, like like why? And then but like I don't think he really gets it. And at the very end, Armstrong is like, I really want to help people. I want to get like I want our system is completely broken, and I want to like sort of restart the situation, make it fair, so everybody has a fighting chance. But like in Ryan's view, if somebody fights their way to the top, they're now strong, and like he must be there to protect the weak. So it's like, yeah.
I find the Armstrong's battle song, "It Has to Be This Way," really interesting, because it's like, um it talks about like how Armstrong and Ryan basically are basically like the same, but they still have to fight each other because they have different opinions.
Huh?
So like
Wait.
the first lyrics of the songs are, standing here I realize you are just like me, trying to make history, but who's to judge from right and wrong when our guard is down? I think we'll both believe that violence breeds violence, but in the end it has to be this way.
See, I saw that as like Armstrong talking, right? Is that from wait, is that song in Armstrong's voice? Like, you know what I'm
No.
saying? Is that like
Honestly, I don't know.
because I kind of saw that as like Armstrong's like because every song thus far, like for the boss fights, has been like it's like the boss's point of view.
But like, it's interesting because the songs they make sense.
They make sense. They can
Like
also kind of apply to Raiden, the lyrics, like all of them. Like they're about the bosses, but they're also like about Raiden.
yeah, that's just really interesting. It's like I mean, I'm just thinking about it more. It's like the songs pretty much apply to the bosses and Rat at the same time. So it's like the player will think it applies to the boss, but it could also apply to Raiden.
We need to take a look at the songs, and that I don't know, it could be a different stream because I like for a long time I wanted to like take apart the Mistral theme.
Yeah, we should, but like it's like midnight and I have to go.
What? Ah, okay, fine. Well, we'll do it at some other point. I have to go and get cake because like on Stranger I Remain, there was the first time I heard it, there was this like part that really kind of struck me as maybe not about Mistral, but like it's really descriptive of Raiden. So it's like I've like I finally found what I was looking for, a place where I can be without remorse because I'm a stranger who has found an even stranger war. And I finally found what I was looking for. So like being on the battlefield like all the time, like it gives Ryan justification to do what he wants to do, which is kill enemies. Like that, like he enjoys that, right? But he can only get that on on the battlefield. Even though he try like peace and going back to the civilian life is some like kind of something that like he says he wants to do. Like he talks about, I just want to go home, you know. But does he really?
Well, he never really
You
talked
know?
about he never really talked about wanting to go home.
Yeah, he did.
Like
He okay. So uh-huh. Go ahead.
he only talked about like when D is mentioned
Wait, hold on. You broke up.
doing
Hey, you broke up. What do you say? What did you say?
because
Hello? Oh, okay. Sorry. What were you saying? Canis. Canis. Yeah. Okay. Okay. Great. It's working now. What did you say? He never talked about what not going home. Right.
hello
Yeah. Yes. Yes. I can hear you now. So he never. So you're saying he never talked about going home? What?
talked about wanting to go home. Mentioned that he was afraid of of acting out because Ryan is living two different lives. Like at home, he's not a killer. On the battlefield, he's a killer. And I think he's afraid of merging those two lives together because he doesn't want to hurt anyone that he cares about. Because he tries to tuck in the Ripper personality.
I think in the end, like the Ripper personality. This is probably like a different conversation, but the Ripper personality is who he really is, and the nicer personality is his front. Like it's funny because when I talk to other fans, they're always like his nice personality is his front is his personality, and his Ripper personality is uh is this like alter ego, and I'm like, nah, no. What if it's the reverse? Because like with the violent situation and the whole child soldier thing that he grew up in. I mean, violence is the only thing he knows. So like when he goes home, the Jack the Ripper personality is what he represses. rather than like that's something that just comes that's really who he is versus like the front that he tries to put on all the time because it's polite.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Um I don't know. Did you say you wanted to cut it off here or something? Like, because I do want to talk about Miss Strauss' song.
I do, but it has to be
Because,
tomorrow.
huh?
It has to be tomorrow.
Okay, fine. All right, we'll just stop it here. Well, anyway, cool. This has been an episode of MGR discussion. Thank you so much for listening, and if you're interested in hearing more content like this, please like or subscribe. And thank you, and have a good night.
Like